Hello?
Hello?
Alrighty, hello everyone, happy Monday. I am going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:02 p.m. First up on the agenda, we have roll call. When I say your name, please let me know if you are present or present and voting. Speaker Johnson. Majority Leader Smith. Chairperson Smith. Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz.
Present.
Parliamentarian Lunger will not be here today. Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold. Legislator Childs. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Jezwicki. Legislator Duong. Legislator Duong, are you present or present and voting?
Present.
Okay, thank you. Legislator Iveza. Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason. Legislator Mullins.
Present.
Legislator Prishandaro. Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters. Legislator Williams. Legislator Wolf. Alrighty, and with that, Legislator Ali, are you present or present? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, with that, we meet quorum. Next up on the agenda is our land acknowledgement. We recognize the wrongs done to those forcibly removed from their homelands and commit to fostering an environment of inclusion that is responsive to the needs of First Peoples through our words, policies, and actions. All right, next up on the agenda is the approval. Is there any motions to amend the agenda at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move to a voice vote. Is there any nays at this time? Any yays? All right, with that, the agenda has been approved. Next up on the agenda is announcements. Is there any announcements anyone would like to make at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on next to new business. First up under new business, we have the approval of a couple of legislators. This is presented by Speaker Johnson, and first up is Matthew Wygand? Wiegand, all right. You gotta turn it on.
Oh, hello, folks. Matthew reached out to me, interested in joining Congress, and as you know, we love it when folks are interested in joining our little bunch. I won't speak too much because I don't need to speak. So I'll mute Matthew.
As a freshman at Oakland University, I've tried to get involved in communities. So far, I've joined the Formula SAE team, which is the race car that we have FMA Financial Management Association, and InterVarsity, a Christian group around teams. In these organizations, I've met great people and have these valuable connections and learned lots of exciting information. As a legislator, I would hope to offer a new perspective, issues that we would discuss, as well as take initiative to help my fellow students and students. Something I would like to address is the campus's infrastructure, specifically the sidewalks near Bearwood and Vandenberg, also the outdated buildings such as Math and Science Center and the Human. I'm sorry. My time as a student representative on the planning board for the city of Burnaby was a great experience. I was able to learn lots of very valuable lessons. I was able to work on multi-million-dollar real estate projects. I could use those lessons that I've learned in that organization here help better community. Thank you all very much for listening. I hope it's been-
All right, is there any questions for Matthew at this time?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Chairperson Markowitz, I'm gonna have Legislator Waters go first, and then we can go to you.
Oh, sounds good.
Hello, I just wanted to ask a quick question, clarifying a little bit what you meant by a certain thing. You said you were bringing new perspectives. Is there any specific examples of that you might be able to give us of what you might be able to bring?
Well, just sort of my background on issues, how I've been raised and where I've come from might be different than how other people have been raised and where they've been. And I think that is a good idea for us to communicate and have discussions, and that would lead to a better society.
Okay, thank you.
Chairperson Markowitz?
I was just curious if I apologize if it's just the audio being bad online. I wasn't able to hear. But I was curious if you had any specific initiatives or anything that you wanted to work on, starting on day one or as soon as you would be approved.
And I could learn more, anything off the top of my head. But really the infrastructure, like I said, it's meant to be other issues, but
All right, any other questions for Matthew at this time? All right, seeing none, I'm gonna ask you to step into the hallway, and then we'll bring you back in just a minute. All righty. Is there any discussion on Matthew's approval at this time? Legislator Williams?
I personally think it's very interesting that he brought up the infrastructure of the university as an issue that he wants to address, because I don't think too many other people here have really talked about the infrastructure. So I think it's really cool that he wants to do something about that.
Chairperson Valdez?
I know Matthew a little bit. We have a few classes together. He's very smart, he's super ambitious, and he has the initiative to accomplish whatever comes to him. He is very good at socializing, and honestly, every time I've seen him in class, he's always participating, and he's not a person who's shy. He's always willing to do the best he can. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would let him be some legislator. I think he's a great fit.
Legislator Waters?
Yeah, I get the feeling that I didn't really feel like I got that much from my function, if I have to be honest. I feel like it was a little bit of a non-answer, which I don't know. You know, I mean, I don't think I gained anything from that, so. With that, I'll yield the floor.
Chairperson Smith?
All right, forgive me here, I'm gonna say something really negative. I will be voting no on this approval, for personal reasons. I will not explain too deeply, but it is of my belief that this individual holds very questionable views on the transgender community. And as a member of that community, I will not vote in the affirmative and have to vote negative. I yield the floor.
Legislator Iveda. Okay, just want to say, I don't know, it was Matthew, right? I don't know Matthew too well, but like, I don't think that we should jump to conclusions. You can vote the way you want to, but I don't think just because he's a member of a Christian society, like, we should assume that he has biases against gays or transgenders. Speaker Johnson, and then I'll Legislator Charlotte.
I will say that something all of you would like to, whatever reasons you would like to, and whether or not you feel the need to tell all of us is entirely up to you. I don't know if we want to have an hour discussion about Chairperson's feelings, but it is her prerogative how she's going to vote and why, without having to tell all of us that.
Legislator Childs.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I'm just like generally uninspired by Matthew. And I don't think that's like necessarily a bad thing. But I really wish we, like I said, a bit of a higher standard for who we let in the student congress, because we don't have a lot of these positions. I think just kind of filling them as they go because they, want to, might like set a bad precedent and have us like end up with a lot of legislators without like, I don't know, the real prerogative and the real experience that we need to pass legislation and get things done. Like I would love for the legislature to be full, but I want it to be full of legislators, people who like just feel like joining student congress. Yeah, again, well, it seems like a good idea. Legislators.
Chairperson Smith.
I would like to clarify, I do not gather that information due to him being a member of the university. The university is a great organization that I know plenty of great people from. That I do.
Okay, Legislator Iveda. Yeah, I wasn't saying you thought something, I was just kind of trying to clarify, I guess, escape things, but I also agree with like Legislator Childs. However, I have to like point out that that's how a majority of us have been voted. I didn't get any questions, but a majority of us came the same way. So I guess we can't be too harsh to judge because a lot of people, when they were up on that podium, they didn't have initiatives. They didn't answer a lot of the questions. And like I said, like I totally agree, like I got the same feeling, but I just don't want to be too biased because how many of us can actually say that, oh, we came in with like 42 initiatives and we had the best answers, and like we just have to remind ourselves like, hey, look at yourself first and look at those around us. And it's like we can't judge other people too harshly, especially if like we ourselves haven't been up to that standard. And another quick point I want to bring on, elections are soon, so it's not like these people are definitive. None of us are definitive. We all have to run elections. So I guess with that, Speaker Johnson.
When we cross the threshold of discussing the caliber of legislator that we bring into Congress, I think we get lost in the throwing a lot of stones from a very glass house. Because as it stands, our legislature has issues with its members clocking in the minimum 1 hour a week that we're required to. So before we start telling other people that they should be having to meet, let's make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do in the same vein.
Chairperson Valdez.
I do agree with that. We have to be a little bit more considerate when it comes to going up that podium. And I do agree that there have been legislators who haven't been able to clock in that limit that's required. I just want to say that even though we all had a vote, it is a good point to address that he lives on campus. he is a person who is willing to put in the time. Maybe you didn't get that from the speech that he just gave. But I think we should all give a chance at least, and like I said, at the end of the day, it's everyone's vote, and we should all respect that, thank you.
Chairperson Leotti? This will be quick. The whole thing about not having many initiatives, like well thought out initiatives, I think is a non-point because the fact that he reached out to Marcus, right, he reached out interested in being part of it, like that already shows like how much he's willing to invest in being a legislator. Hopefully, like I feel that speaks more than how many initiatives he may have prepared beforehand.
Legislator Wolf?
One of the most promising new legislators that I've seen, Asia, I saw you came to, Legislator Mays, but you came to me before and you spoke with the podium. Issues, you made you had a comment from the gallery at some point, and I feel like I just haven't seen him around. So I wish to see people who here who have spoken and paid attention to our agenda perhaps.
Speaker Johnson?
I was thinking it's a requirement of every prospective legislator that they do attend a meeting before their people as a gallery member. And I can think of about 6 people off the top of my head who did so, they did not speak as a gallery member. So if we're going to start deciding how we want to apply things, I will note I'll have to start applying them universally. And I won't be able to get picky choosy as to who it applies to if it's standard. I will yield the floor.
Chairperson Markowitz?
So I will admit, I'm kind of on the fence on this one. Just because I think, like, obviously, a lot of people were sharing their personal opinions, which, I'm trying to base my thoughts, not on any one person particularly, but I think, in terms of my expectation is I have some sort of expectation that people have identified real problems within the university and are at least thinking about potential solutions. Cause like, for me, like I joined Student Congress because of a very specific issue that I wanted to address. And I think that a lot of us are very similar in that regard, even if, it's not super well thought out. And so I think in terms of then like the problems that people are bringing up, then it's like how actionable or solvable are those problems? So for example, infrastructure, like I don't know how reasonable that is beyond like what the university is already doing. I think it's the same thing if a student were to say that they wanted lower tuition costs, that might be a little bit more difficult to solve. So anyways, just a couple points and personally.
All right, any other discussion before we move to a vote? Right? Yeah. All right, I know we also had some people come in. I want to make sure I get all of you. Legislator Smith? Present, got it. Legislator Mason? Present. Thank you. Majority Leader Smith? Okay. All right, Legislator Mullins?
Yay.
Speaker Johnson? Majority Leader Smith? Chairperson Smith? Chairperson Valdez? Chairperson Markowitz?
Abstain.
Legislator Ali?
Yeah.
Legislator Arnold? Legislator Childs? Legislator DeVore? Legislator Jozwicki? Legislator Duong?
Yay.
Legislator Iveza? Legislator Mays? Legislator Mason?
Abstain.
Legislator Prishendaro? Legislator Smith? Legislator Waters? Legislator Williams?
Yeah.
Legislator Wolf? Right.
We have 8 yeas, 6 nays.
All right. With that, Matthew has been approved as the newest legislator of Student Congress. Someone want to go ahead and bring him back from the hallway?
Do we have quorum with how many people abstained though?
Quorum is,
Okay, so we have 14 votes. Yeah, that is quorum.
okay. All right, congratulations, Matthew. You were the newest legislator of Student Congress. And then I will go ahead and ask, are you present or present and voting? All right, thank you. Should spell that. Alrighty. Alrighty, next up on the agenda is the approval of Shantae's. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to the approval of Javier Rosario.
Yeah.
Okay, this is presented by Speaker Johnson. You have the floor.
All right, well, we have Javier today, who is that you what? Actually, his group was last semester, but I'm going to interfere with his schedule. He's able to join us today, and I'm excited to hear from him. I will give the floor to Javier.
I apologize. I read my speech, but the integrated version. Considering me as a student legislator, I would like to become one in order to better contribute to my community, mainly being an OU. Because of my double major in public administration, German language and culture, and many people, many of them in this room, and I've had classes because I'm a year ahead academically. A lot of you. But because of this, I am a freshman and I am technically ahead. Despite this, I have a background in city government from high school, as well as helping found roughly 6 clubs. But I understand it's not going to compare. That was high school, and this is college. Despite this, I think this experience will help me because at many times I was at local board meetings, meeting with the local government, get approval for parades and events, fundraisers. As for what I would like to bring to campus, the start of the year is fantastic. It's a great introduction for new students. However, by the time finals and between the midterms and events start dying down, and people, they don't lose excitement, but it feels like the university can't forget them. In order to help this, I would like some new events, especially during midterm and final season, as well as we have empty space. And see over the window. We have empty space between Bear Lake and Odin. Now, I understand it's a lot of work, but I personally did this in high school. We planted a garden entirely student run, almost without any administrations. And I understand we have a garden on the other side of campus, but students can't see this. And in their eyes, we don't have stuff now. So we could plant a new garden in front of ODAP between Bear Lake and Wolf. I think this would help beautify campus because Wolfram. As well as, I'm friends with a variety of people, some of which are more sports people. Lacrosse teams have equipment that doesn't fit them. It's old, kind of falling apart, and I can think of 3 people. The school doesn't have storage for the equipment, they can keep it in their dorm back at OP. That's no way to treat our athletes. I understand that's a lot, but I think even if it's just student run, we can build a storage shed, at least. Because it's ridiculous that an athlete to when you play this, have to keep all their equipment in because the student will find. I understand the administration may push back on this, but it's still issues that need to raise our voice. We need to make sure that they know that we're paying attention. We're not gonna just let them treat, it might not be us, but we're not gonna let them treat other students. And I thank you for considering this a future legislative.
All right. Thank you, Javier. Is there any questions for him at this time? Chairperson Markowitz?
So I think you bring up an interesting dilemma here, because I feel like normally with prospective legislators, it's maybe like 1 or 2 issues that they're kind of thinking on, and that, you know, they could reasonably start on right away. You brought up a lot of great ideas. Is there one of those particularly that it's kind of the forefront, and like as soon as you join, you want to focus on it, and then, you know, the later ones, you know, address later?
Student looking at energized and feel like joining. They feel like the student doesn't school its student, doesn't care about student. And if we keep on doing events and stuff, the entirety of at least the person. Students need to constantly participate.
Thank you.
Legislator Arnold?
You said that you started roughly 6 clubs in high school. That's a lot. Just curious, some of the clubs that you started, and also roughly, does that mean 5.5, 6.5, or something? I'm just joking.
One entirely and the other. What I can name.
Yeah, just a few examples if you wouldn't mind.
Do you have key? Key club, chess club. I believe the Spanish club was among the events. German club. Environmental club, which is when I did the garden. Oh, appreciation. It's kind of like a key club, but it's just, we surprise teachers with gifts that they like without something.
Very cool, thank you.
Legislator Wolf?
Are you willing to make like a multi-hour, like weekly commitment? Cause like one way, something that I find very disappointing when people can't make it to GBMs and legislature meetings, they're not willing to table or to like just, you know, be around for odd jobs. I wonder like, with a double major and everything and other like commitments you may have, is this something that you're seeing as like definitely like something you're willing to make a lot of your extra time with?
Absolutely. Because of AP credits, I'm, well, by the end of the semester, I'll be halfway done with requirements for both majors. So I love free time, elective space. Willing to.
Okay.
All right, any other questions for Javier at this time? All right, seeing none, I'm gonna ask you to step out into the hallway and then we will bring you back in just a minute. Alrighty, is there any discussion? Let's start over here. Legislator Mays?
I was gonna start by saying, I don't know Javier that well, but I do see him around and he is always, doing something, studying. He seems like he is like learning. I know he's been here a few times. He's trying to get into the legislature, but I feel like he would be a good legislator, legislator, for sticking together. And I feel like he would also help with some of the initiatives we already have going on, especially if he's interested in business.
Thank you, Chairperson Valdez. I have the same feeling as Legislator Mays. I also am very impressed of how aware he is. And I like that he is already proposing new ideas to change on campus. So with that, I do the floor. Legislator Wolf.
I think it's promising that he understands the diplomacy and, and communication it takes to do something like this. He demonstrated that to me, like he visited with like various boards and governments and all that. And as President Garcia and Vice President Brummer know that this is a whole lot of meetings for meetings of meetings, like it's and his initiatives on revolving around, just creating more events around a certain period of time, probably similar to the same sort of scope of meetings during the beginning of the year. I think that's quite feasible and, expectations managed type of deal. And, overall, I just think and also like, his comments about like, creating a garden, but with very little help or like, purview from administration, I think is very, very sobering to see someone who understands that administration really is not involved nor helps us or does much of anything. Because you don't need another person coming in here like, we're gonna tell admin what they should do. That's not how this works. But yes, I yield with.
Legislator DeVore.
I got the opportunity to meet Javier through another organization I'm a part of before this, but I just want to speak to his character a little bit. He's a very open-minded and just nice guy to be around. And I got that from him just from a couple meetings with him, but just from this his speech earlier today, I didn't realize just how much of a hard worker he was. I mean, double major, 6 clubs that he started. I think he's probably one of the most impressive resumes coming in as a prospective legislator that I've seen. So I'm just overall impressed with him and I would like to have him aboard as a legislator. I yield the floor.
Chairperson Smith.
Yeah, I just wanted to compliment Javier as well because I've talked to him pretty extensively. I've had several classes with him. I know him from other organizations outside of OUSC, and he's just besides the fact that he probably has the most impressive resume we've seen before, so in a hot second, I just think he's overall a very nice guy, and he's just great. He's just great. I don't want to waste more time with more compliments. I yield the floor.
Legislator Christian.
I think that the sentiments here seem pretty unanimous, so I'm not adding that much to it. But actually, his ideas when it comes to a new garden and sports equipment and storage, that they seem very achievable and doable to my knowledge, as also a very new legislator. So, please.
Okay, Legislator Williams.
do personally like his idea for having new events on campus. The only concern with that is marketing, because I know that there's like many like schools on campus that they have very low attendance for their events, so just wondering if it's going to be able to.
Great, any other discussion before we move to a vote? Right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move into the vote. Alrighty. Okay. Legislator Mullins,
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson, Majority Leader Smith, Chairperson Smith, Chairperson Valdez, Chairperson Markowitz, Legislator Ali, Legislator Arnold, Legislator Childs, Legislator DeVore, Legislator Jozwicki, Legislator Duong,
Yay.
Legislator Iveza, Legislator Mays, Legislator Mason,
Yay.
Legislator Prishandaro, Legislator Smith, Legislator Waters, Legislator Williams, Legislator Wolf, Legislator Wiegand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, would anyone like to go grab Javier? All right, with that, Javier has been approved as the newest legislator of Student Congress. Congratulations. Oh no. It's all good. And Legislator Rosario, are you present or present and voting? Right, thank you. Alrighty, next up on the agenda is the approval of Adrian Iveza as a legislator. This is also presented by Speaker Johnson. You have the floor.
Join our wonderful conference and partake in the fun things that we do. But as normal, I will yield the floor to him to let him talk about himself. Adrian, the floor is yours.
Hi, okay. First things first, I prepared a short speech because I know you guys didn't want to say. Yeah, for like 5 minutes. And I'm not the best public speaker, so just warning you guys. Okay, good evening, fellow students and members of Student Congress. My name is Adrian Iveza, and I'm a freshman majoring in mechanical engineering here at Oakland University. It's an honor to be here today. I am excited to share why I believe I can represent all of you effectively. In my short time being here at this school, I came to realize that the challenges that come with balancing academics, projects, and personal well-being. I want to be a voice for students who are facing similar struggles, whether it's demanding programs like mine or looking for support on campus.
I want to ensure that all students, regardless of their major, have the tools and opportunities they need to succeed. I am committed to advocating for a campus that helps everyone. Although I do not have any major like initiatives right now, I would still like to have this opportunity to have a voice for my fellow students. Thank you for your time, and I would be honored to represent you and work together with you guys to make our university a better place for all students.
All right, thank you, Adrian. Is there any questions for Adrian at this time? Chairperson Markowitz?
So I know you said you didn't have anything like specific already planned out, which is okay, but I was just curious, in terms of, would you mind just going a little bit more specific than, like kind of helping the campus thrive, or like what kind of resources? Yeah, like if there's particular resources that maybe you think are underutilized, or, you know, something like that.
So, I about this like cool project with the Bible. Rebranding our project. And honestly, I thought that was really cool. Like, it's just where like professors or members of that project wear like a green bandana on backpacks, so you know, like if you need someone to talk to, because I know I need someone to talk to. So it's just you can go up to them and talk to them if you really need someone to talk to. And also, Mario brought it up in that last meeting. It was something to do with IT course. I thought it was really cool. We get some green flags for Mario.
Wow.
Honestly, I was really inspired. And I was really inspired with that. Because when I was trying to fill out my form, fill out the form for the thing, I had to make the students on the website search it off just to fill it out. And the first thing they did was look at their card. I was like, no, it's not me. So I had to make them do that, and honestly, it was a pain. Is there any more questions?
Legislator May. Okay, this might be kind of repetitive, but I'm trying to get a little bit and so not like initiatives, like not initiatives, any concern like that you would like to bring up that initiatives, just because as a professional, I don't question and not used to a campus, anything you notice that you would like to bring to Congress.
Just with it's more like social aspect. That's first couple months, I had trouble meeting some friends, so because like I'm not really I am kind of person to push myself out there, but still it was hard to make friends. Like I don't know, I feel like we could do better on that, maybe make more space for students to be together, make friends, enjoy themselves.
Great. Any other questions for Adrian at this time? Chairperson Markowitz?
Sorry, one more. Just for clarity, do you live on campus or do you live off campus? Okay, cool, thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to ask you to step out into the hallway. We'll bring you back in just a minute. Alrighty, is there any discussion anyone would like to bring up in regards to Adrian's approval? Legislator DeVore?
Being honest, I think he was a little bit hard on himself about being a bad public speaker, because once you got him going on some of those initiatives, he kind of had a lot to say. Personally though, I really love the Green Bandana initiative that he said. I wish I had heard about that sooner. I actually really love the idea, and I think that's something we should pursue to promoting to the rest of the campus. I yield the floor.
Chairperson Smith?
I also liked what he said about that Green Bandana project. I know a lot of us, I don't know if it was any years before last year, but I know those of us who were new last year, they pushed it really hard on us for like that very first week we were here and then never mentioned it ever again. So I think it was really neat. A lot of people really like this. So I think we should be pushing that. I still see those green bandanas around campus right there. So I still think they keep pushing. But I was actually wondering if they had talked about it at New Student Convocation this year, but evidently not. And I think it's really neat. So with that, I yield the floor.
Legislator Prashandara.
While definitely in support of the prospective legislator at this time. And I liked that once he got started in talking about specific initiatives, he was very enthusiastic about it. I think one might have hoped that he could have a little bit more knowledge of initiatives that he would be interested in going in. With the context that we know he has one person on student congress that he knows that could have filled him in on stuff. But that's it. I'll yield to
Speaker Donovan?
I will say a standard that I keep from all prospective legislators, that actually wasn't my thing, I think it was Chairperson Moore's thing, is that if you're new to the campus, I don't hold you to the requirement having a bazillion things you want to do right at this second. So in his case, is it true that he knows someone in Congress? Yes. Am I gonna hold it against him that he has not interrogated said member to figure out every little bit of every piece of information about what we're doing? Yeah.
Legislator Kaminga.
Testing it. Okay, so I just want to make it clear, you guys can say whatever you want, like, I know I'm just sir, but. Like, I can say the most like, this sister, okay, so like, honestly, feel free to speak freely, I'm not gonna judge you for it. I'm a sibling, his mom, so, but also, what like Marcus was saying, I actually didn't like talk to him about like any legislative things because I wanted him to like feel how we all felt, like none of us were like integrated into student congress. So he tried like he tried like practicing his speech with me. I was like, no, like you literally can't. I was like, you gotta practice on your own. I'm gonna hear it first time on Monday. And I was like, okay, perfect. Like this is all you. And yeah, so he doesn't have any like insider information. So yeah, that's all I'd say. Look for.
Legislator Williams.
She didn't really tell me because we have my sister here and she wants to become first in and I also want to comment about his like initiative for like making places for people to like make friends. I think that's an interesting idea, but it just doesn't really seem that like concrete. You know what I mean? You know that I guess it's like a big issue and people be kind of hoping that maybe he can just elaborate. I also improve that.
Legislator Mays.
So I have a few things to say because I'm always thinking both ways. On one hand, I asked my question because I was kind of, even though I'm not interested, I was kind of hoping for like more, I don't know, digging into issues around campus. But then again, he said it was going to make sense. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, so you can have many things he was thinking about initially. I could say some of the things he was thinking about, we could integrate with things we already are doing here. So I feel like if he is able to commit to it, he could be a good member.
Chairperson Markowitz.
So I think, in terms of like the no like specific initiatives, I think in looking at that, like I said, I'm good now. I try to also look at it from a broader perspective too and see if some of the issues that he's speaking on are things that we could actually address.
And I think mental health is one of those most obvious things. There's so many different ways that you can get involved. So I think that's like a more understandable way if you don't know exactly what initiative you want to get involved in. Additionally, I honestly think that the making friends thing is an interesting idea because as I was thinking about it, I was like, well, SPB is great when you have friends and you want to go to events with them. It kind of made me think of like, since we're always doing tabling stuff and like sometimes we have like meet the reps, but we've never done a speed friending event. And I was like, that's kind of a cool idea that I'm gonna give them credit for it. So I yield.
Legislator Smith.
This is about mental health, it's like a little comment earlier of the Green Bandana Project. That is something, because I work for orientation, so that is something that we did talk about to all incoming freshmen that we do, that they have been doing. I know this is like a new project. It's also incoming freshmen, like, they don't listen to everything. It's a long like process. So of course I didn't expect like everybody to like remember it going in. That is something that the rec center still pushes like today. It's just also lack of communication within different programs. They push it, but you know, if it's not getting pushed around with all this, then it will probably die down. I definitely think that's something that students can promote more, especially like in mental health. So yeah, that's all I have to comment on. And wait, yeah.
Director Hadid? The make friends part, I think it's more so, like he kind of said, like he's someone who can put themselves out there. I think when we have people tabling, I think it's good to have people with that type of mindset because those are the people who are gonna make friends with other students, go to events and just be more energetic and be more outgoing to other students who aren't able to be outgoing. And I think he kind of said that like that's usually how he is, and even he's been struggling. It just shows like we need people who feel that way to be able to like help people who also feel that way but who aren't able to, you know, put themselves out there or who don't feel comfortable, you know. So they I don't know how to explain it, but I honestly, when I did my thing, I said something very similar because I feel like because I commute and I don't have that many problems, and my biggest problem was that like it took me so long to like finally like get meeting people, and that just made me feel like shitty. And I think it's a problem because like okay, I think that problem is solved by adding people with the mindset of I'm coming into it to open myself up to others and be comfortable and make other people comfortable. And then those people can also, especially like our role is to address student concerns, and students are only gonna like tell you their concerns they feel.
Okay, any other discussion anyone would like to mention before we pick up? Okay, seeing none. Go ahead. Chris. Alrighty, Legislator Mullins,
Yay.
Speaker Johnson, Majority Leader Smith, Chairperson Smith, Chairperson Valdez, Chairperson Markowitz,
Yay.
Legislator Ali, Legislator Arnold, Legislator Childs, Legislator DeVore, Legislator Joswicki, Legislator Duong, Legislator Iveza. Okay. Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Prishandaro. Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters.
Yeah.
Legislator Williams.
Yeah.
Legislator Wolf. Legislator Wiegand. Legislator Rosario?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, would anybody like to go and grab Adrian? Alrighty. With that, Adrian has been approved as the newest member of Student Congress. Congratulations.
Just.
Legislator Iveza, are you present or present and voting? Right, thank you.
Please be the difference.
Yeah, for the new legislators that have joined us today at this meeting, for context, present and voting requires you to vote on everything that goes up at a meeting. And you cannot abstain. If you are simply present, you have the choice to abstain from a vote. Just so everyone knows. Alrighty. Next up on the agenda, we have old business. Under old business, we have CB 6719. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. You have the floor.
Okay, I'm back again to hear me for a minute. This bill is that the last PBM to present more funding for the Taste of Africa event. We could scroll down. As at the request of some, there have been a few amendments made to it. There were some folks who wanted to do a few more spending changes, which would have required more bills to go through. So instead of doing that, I was fine with a friendly amendment to this. So it can all be done in one go. The main two lines focus on the Taste of Africa funding, well, the first three, I should say. Director Skinner requested some money for his owl event, so he asked me to throw that in there. And Director Lemon Pace was asking money for stamps. And if you scroll down, the AAUP labor panel event as well. And I was fine amending the bill to include those in there. That is my TED Talk for the day. I shall yield with other questions. Never mind.
Legislator DeVore?
Asking what specific, just to remind everybody, what specifically is this money going to specifically for that Taste of Africa event plus the owl event? So what is this going towards?
And every year, Student Congress contributes towards the Taste of Africa events in partnering Center for Multicultural Initiatives. I believe this year, and President Garcia, you can correct me. Are they covering T-shirts with it, or are they doing the cups?
So I'm pretty sure it was gonna be, the last time I talked to Denise, it was gonna go towards cups. But I also told her like, cause she asked me if like we were like hard, fast, like cups or shirts. And I told her whatever was more helpful towards Taste of Africa. But either way, whatever it's on, it's gonna be a giveaway and it's gonna have our logo on them. Yeah. Oh, and then for the owl pellets thing, oh, do you wanna, okay, I'll let you.
We just needed $50 from the recycling bins to cover food and also owl pellets, which we'll be dissecting after the event, because they're bringing in live owls in the presentation and all that.
Director William Hayes, unfortunately, is not present to tell me what the extra funding for the labor panel is going toward, but I feel like the money for stamps is kind of self-explanatory. I feel like it is, but I'm always willing to deal with questions on that.
To my knowledge, I believe that in regards to the AAUP, it is collaborative swag for the event.
Thank you.
Legislator Wolf?
When is owl event? I yield the floor.
I can answer that actually, if you want.
Yeah.
Right. It is February 12th from 5 to 7. I reserve the ballrooms and hopefully we get them.
Alrighty, any other questions for Speaker Johnson regarding CB 6719? We will go ahead and move into a vote. Alrighty, Legislator Mullins. Speaker Johnson. Majority Leader Smith. Chairperson Smith. Chairperson Valdez. Stepped out. Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Legislator Ali.
Yay.
Legislator Arnold. Also stepped out. Legislator Childs.
Yay.
Legislator DeVore. Legislator Jozwicki. Legislator Duong.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza. Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Prishandaro. Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters. Legislator Williams. Legislator Wolf. Legislator Wiegand. Legislator Rosario. Legislator Iveza. Alrighty. With that, CB 6719 has been passed. Alrighty. Next up on the agenda is discussion. First up under discussion, we have election bylaws. This is presented by Director Richardson. You have the floor.
Alrighty, I'm gonna take off my DIA hat for a second and put on my election commissioner hat. Hi, for those who don't know me, or new legislators, I'm Taylor Richardson. I've been nominated as the election commission chair. Part of my duties are to finally release awesome information, which is our timeline, and also to go over the bylaws with all of you. So if you don't mind.
Can we get a drum roll, please? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hold on.
And you are! Yay! Woohoo! More Zoom, please, thank you. Alrighty, these are all of our confirmed dates going forward. Letting you all know, after I am done going over the bylaws and after GBM has commenced, I would love if anyone can stay after and help me poster around campus. We already have them printed, so we just gotta get them off the boards. All right, starting simple, and like I said, if there's any questions, please stop me. I don't want anyone confused after today. And of course, any questions you have, they go to me, and then we will talk. All right, declaring candidacy. This is important. You will not be able to run unless you declare. It's as simple as that. That's gonna happen, it's gonna start on Monday, February 10th. And then it's gonna end on Sunday, March 2nd at 11:59. Okay, everyone must declare candidacy before they can run. And I mean, like, this applies to everybody in this room. It's not just people who are running for president, VP, or speaker, or any slate. It's for all legislators in this room right now. All right, so in terms of that, yeah, like I said, all candidates must file a declaration of candidacy. All election material will be handed to those who fill out the form. The form will go out. I'll send the form out with some promotional material, of course, and that again will start on February 10th. So you basically have almost, before we then get into orientation. Now, orientation is extremely important. You cannot be on the ballot unless you attend orientation. It's one of the most important events, I think, besides declaring candidacy, of course. It is also one of the required events. So I encourage all of you, if you would like, the election bylaws
are in our shared drive. So anyone can access them right now and follow me if you'd like. But like I said, orientation session, very important, that whoever fills out the declared candidacy form will be on dates that I decide, working with the schedule of you, of course. And I will go over the bylaws as well as the material more in detail when that comes, including, grievances and all that stuff too, sanctions. But other than orientation, there will be, that would basically, you have like a week, 5 days, so Monday, March 3rd to Friday, March 7th, assuming 11:59. And then you will have 2 days within that time frame to, well, I should say, after you declare candidacy, this is when you want to start building your slate. And just to let any of the new legislators know, a slate basically pertains, you have to have a president to run as a slate. And then you can have a VP, or you can have a speaker, you don't have to, or you can run by yourself. Legislators, 5 legislators can run within a slate according to the bylaws, but you can run by yourself if you would like. Platform submissions, both legislators and slates must send me a platform submission. Like I said, in that time of you building your slate, if you're building one or you're running by yourself, you need to give me that information by Monday, March 9th at 11:59. All right, so platform submission, so we'll go on into more detail, but it's basically any information that you can give me about yourself, about different kind of issues you want to run on, stuff like that. It's most important for slates to give me this kind of information, and like I said, there will be an email for detail about what I'm asking when it comes to platform submissions. Kickoff, that is the second must attend event other than orientation. I said something? Thank you very much. Oh, great. Really? Come on. Back to it. Yeah, that's what you got.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Alright, I'm just making sure. So make sure that I do not miss anything. Back to election kickoff. Like I said, orientation, you must attend. Election kickoff, you must attend. The important thing about election kickoff, before anything, so when you're doing your platform submission, you're doing orientation, you declare candidacy, nothing about your candidacy can be said. And I mean this. You cannot announce to anybody that you are running for any kind of position or anything like that, especially a slate. It is only when kickoff occurs that day, at that time, can you announce that, hey, I'm running for this position in Student Congress. Before then, I better not hear anything about it. And I mean that because that was a violation. Okay, these are very, very strict rules. And it's about transparency and it's about keeping up with everything. So yeah, I would just appreciate if everyone follow the rules. Bylaws, rules. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. All right. So really though, because kickoff is when everyone finally announces who they are, what they are, this marks the official beginning of elections. And any candidate who misses this event may be excused by the Election Commission in their absence because they have failed to attend. Even after kickoff though, because I didn't say everyone can announce what they're running for, they can announce their slates. The most important thing that I can tell all of you today, there will be no election talk in the office. Nothing. I don't want to hear a single word. If I hear a word, it will be a violation. Thank you. Let's just not do that, because again, let's follow the rules. All right, continuing on. After kickoff, you will then have roughly a month and a half, couple weeks to get your submissions in, signatures, I should say. Signatures only pertain to slates. Presidents, vice presidents, whoever is running, they need 50 signatures. And this is exactly how, most of you were elected as legislators. I should say through approval, you got your 50 signatures. You still need the 4 digits, you still need them signed, and then they need to be approved. The commission will decide, but I'm pretty sure it'll just be through Jean Ann. Or I think we're talking to the office. We'll figure it out. Sorry.
I don't know if you made this distinction, but just to be clear, only slates have to turn in signatures, not legislators. Just because the signatures are only for making you eligible for the debates. That's all.
So yeah, if I don't get signatures, by Wednesday, March 26th at 11:59, and in my hand, you will not be able to attend the debate. It's as simple as that. Continue, turn my page. When it comes to debates, they're gonna be right after. So Wednesday, March 26th, again, it's a Wednesday. The next is the vice presidential debate. Thursday, March 27th. Time is to be announced because I will be meeting with, like, during orientation and all that stuff, talking to, who is running and figuring out, like, what's the best time for everyone to come together. There will be a room picked by that time, and, again, I'll probably have a Google Calendar in some way. Legislator Wolf?
How will debate questions and prompts be like submitted?
Decided, yeah, so that is in the bylaws. It is determined by the election commission. I will nominate a kind of, I think, let me actually go to that page if you want me to read it out loud. Yeah, sure thing. That's why I wish this was on. You know what, because it's taking me a minute, I'm gonna go through the rest of it and then I'll get back to you on that. Thank you. Just because I don't want to take that much time, because we'll get to questions in just a second. After the two debates, the next week, voting opens. Voting opens on Monday, March 31st at 9 a.m. This allows me to give, everything's typically a good rule of thumb. Everything opens at 9 a.m. and closes at 11:59. I want to make it very clear to everyone, make it easy. But at 9 a.m. is when my committees and my commission can start registering and just make things better. So that way no one ever questions what time they can actually start doing things. But voting does close that Friday, April 4th at 11:59. And then after that, the validation committee will go over, validate the results, of course. We will have a meeting. Other than that, because I will admit, I have not met with either of my committees because I don't have enough people yet, which is one thing I want to address to all of you. If you have classmates who think would be slightly interested in doing something involving with Student Congress, who are not involved with Student Congress, because none of you can be on those commissions, please email me, message me on Slack. I will send you the form. We are having posters going up for each commission and committee, but I need people desperately because it will just make it will make the elections run smoother. The smoother they run, the less grievances are filed, and ultimately the Student Congress looks better, you know? So, like I said, if you have any friends who are interested, please let me know, or let me know somebody's form. President Garcia?
I wouldn't recommend like a close friend or people who are really like friends with like people in Student Congress, just because like introduces a little bit of bias, especially when it comes to the validations committee, which they like kind of go through grievances and things like that. But I know that we are doing a lot of efforts to do like mass emails in the political science department and the honors college, going through and finding like kind of outside people who don't know a lot of us really well. With regards to like the elections committee, that's more of like you don't have like the hugest stake. You don't have any stake at all actually.
Yeah.
In the election, so that's fine if it's like people that you know, but yeah, just to give a clarification. And also another point I wanted to make that Taylor, you probably were gonna make it anyways. I would recommend everyone to like read the elections bylaws, because like this is a really good thing to like make sure that everything is clear for everyone, but like at the end of the day, it's like really important for you to see it with your own eyes. So and be informed. So that's all.
Yeah. Overall, thank you. The election commission just basically does things that they ask them to do, and they also they help with debates and whatnot, where the validation committee is the more important one. It's a little more intense because they are validating the results of voting, like ballot wise, will take place online. We've decided that we will keep the system we had last year because I picked something that's not broken. There will be a Google form that my eyes and my eyes only, besides the validation committee, will see. And yeah, we just want to keep that straightforward as we possibly can. Congressional address and inauguration. Congressional address will be on Monday, April 7th at 5 p.m. It takes place at the time of GBM. Congressional address is just me going up here, saying the results, validating everything, being letting Congress know what happened and how it went. And then inauguration is when that new administration enters, they announce themselves. You know, we all know how inauguration goes, peaceful transition of power. Okay. That, yeah, like I said, that happens on our last GBM, so everyone knows that our last GBM is on Monday, April 14th. Legislator Mason, you.
Okay, so I haven't, I mean, I was never a part of the election process before, so I'm not entirely sure how it works. But I was just curious, who is voting open to? Is it just us or is it like the
No,
entire
it's
school?
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you so much. It is the entire student body. And so there will be a lot of promotional material going out. We have an amazing marketing committee, which I am so, so happy to have. They're an absolute pleasure to work with. Thank you, marketing committees. But we are working on promotional material around the clock. I've already had a meeting with them to get that stuff out to students and to really let them know. That was the one thing I came up here and spoke on, is like last year I didn't feel like a lot of students knew elections were even happening, and I do not want that to repeat this year. So the more that students know about elections, the better turnout we have, and that's exactly what I would like. President Garcia, and then I'll come to you, Legislator.
I was wondering if you could explain to everyone, like, so there's a lot of like rules when it comes to elections, and I was wondering like, what happens if somebody like violates those rules? What would happen? If you could go through like what would be the procedures or like yeah.
Yes, there is grievances of anyone, like I said, if one person is talking about elections in the office and is trying to be sneaky about it, and I hear it, I can file a grievance, maybe you can file a grievance. Other forms of grievances that you can file, if somebody, which I was gonna get back to when in terms of like campaigning, there is a giant section about campaigning, please read these bylaws. But it addresses that, like, if you are campaigning during an OUSC event, that is a grievance. You cannot do that. That's not tolerable. If you're using, let's say, basically, you cannot campaign using OUSC resources, lists, websites. You cannot campaign using your email address or any residential address, logos, first name, anything that has to do with OUSC, basically. And yeah. And then other things, there's like sanctions that happen, sanctions, which I will go into more detail at orientation, but there's different kinds of sanctions that can happen, which I can get into detail if someone wants me to. But again, the validations committee will meet on different kinds of grievances. So the role they have, why it's more important to have them. But other than that, yeah.
I just want to quickly emphasize that like when grievances are filed, it doesn't mean that you're automatically sanctioned. There's a hearing that takes place, just like she was talking about with the validations committee. And then they determine a sanction.
How are we supposed to deal with the election without getting grievances?
Yes, there is a portion of the bylaws that does say like events held by me. I can discuss election stuff with you. You guys are a committee that I'm talking to. As far as I know, that is allowed because it is an event held by me. I mean, you guys.
Well, I'm sorry. I just want to make a clarification too, because the only way that hold on.
I mean, if we really want to escape that hurdle, we can have like
Well,
committee outside of the.
I guess like the way that like that you would be talking about elections is like talking about who's running. Taylor wouldn't give that information to anyone, so like you would like just like how she made this like timeline. She had someone make it without any dates on it, and then she filled in the dates. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways.
I leave chairperson. I'm speaking of photo.
Thank you. I just want to say a couple things. One, I know I don't foresee this happening, but I see a slight chance. Please don't confuse OUSC grievances with election grievances.
Yeah.
Different things. Don't come to me at all about election stuff. I don't want to hear it. Another thing, the election bylaws comparatively to our other bylaws are not that long and they're quite an easy read.
Yes.
Go through them. Just, it'll help you exponentially. And for all of our newer legislators who weren't involved in the elections process last year, and this may seem a little intimidating, it's not that difficult. I promise you, it's not that much.
If you have any questions, please come talk to me. I've read this thing like 5 times already. Like, I am here to help you. And we're all learning along the way. So the more I know about your questions and concerns, the better we can learn.
That I yield.
Legislator Christian Darrow?
I wanted to ask, like, what is the voting system when it comes to like presidential candidates and VP candidates? Did they have running mates?
Yeah, so that's what a slate is. So a slate can be president and then whoever's running with the president. That could be up to 5 legislators. That could be a speaker. It could be a vice president. What a slate is not is like a VP running with a speaker without the president. The president needs to be part of the slate. The president can also run by themselves, and that could be considered a slate as well. We've had that in the past. When the Google form is released, again, I was not in OUSC at the time, so I don't think I'm breaking anything when I say like what that looked like was a Google form. It had like all the presidential candidates, press a bubble, move on to the VP candidate, press a bubble. I mean, I think actually, was it by slate? I believe it was, yeah, it was by slate. Excuse me, I did that. It was by slate, and then when it came to like legislators, individually press them unless they were part of the slate. And then the write-ins, there are write-in candidates during the election. These write-in candidates, they follow a different, which I will address in a second. Yeah, we had a lot of write-ins, including myself. But yeah, the write-ins follow a different rule. I see the part of the bylaws that I was gonna get for legislator Wolves. But that's what that form is like.
That system, if a slate was like only a president and VP, and like that's like one, then how was the speaker decided?
So the speaker, I would say, is then at the jurisdiction of the people who win, right?
You appoint them during GBM and then you vote.
There you go.
Legislator seats, is it just like there's 20 or so seats open and the 20 people with the most votes get on?
So in terms of that, no, that's a good question.
Wait, can you restate that question, please?
In terms of legislator seats, like we have our number of legislator seats like total, and then is it like the number of people with the most votes, the 20 or so?
28, yeah.
28, sorry.
I know for the write-ins, you have to have like a 2% over.
As long as you, oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Welcome, you're welcome. That's for write-ins. Yes.
Just to answer that question, we have 28 seats and there's 25, you can vote for 25 of those seats I believe it's that way to add a little competition. Obviously, I'm really, I don't know when that was written in, but, yeah, 25 votes, 28 people can stand for election because we have 28 seats.
This is just about reasons.
Again, and finally, when it comes to like us not being to talk about elections, does that only apply to like specific candidates? Or like, can we talk about like, hey, elections are happening, go vote in the generic sense?
I think that's up to my jurisdiction. I would say if you're like talking about dates, like, hey, I forgot when orientation closes. Oh, it's on blah, blah, blah. That's okay, but I don't want to hear anything about any kind of candidate. I would say dates are fine, but anything else, no. You can leave the office, you can go down the hall, but it just can't be in the office. You cannot use any kind of OUSC material, even the printer, when it comes to running for your slate.
Legislator Igbeza? Okay, so just for clarification, we can talk about elections, but it has to be outside the office?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Legislator Wolf?
Would it be possible perhaps if you represent both like all or both whatever candidacies equal, like for example, in like a class forum, if you were to be like, here's the candidates, this is when the election is happening, go check this out.
Wait, I am so confused by this question.
I like in my classes.
Oh, in your classrooms. Okay.
Could I be like, oh, here's the different candidacies, like here's a link to like their platform, just go check it out, here's when voting's gonna happen, as long as everyone's represented equally. And like, you know, sort of just like matter of fact.
I believe according to the bylaws, you have to let me know that you are campaigning for them.
But no, if it's like everything.
No, because then I would rather you just say, hey, elections are happening, please go. Yeah, I don't want you mentioning campaign, like you cannot campaign for a.
Is there a comprehensive link where it's like, oh, here's the link to like OESC election stuff, and then that would lead to like where they could find people's platform?
Yes, we will, yeah, of course. Well, that's basically why I need platform submission, and then kickoff, we'll literally have all that, we will have social media posts, I will have,
So it'll be easy to like, in an impartial way, connect people to where they can find platform.
yeah, just,
Okay.
I would simply tell, if you want people to vote, just tell, hey, elections are going on soon. Here's how you find, go to our Instagram, you'll find everyone's platform there. Leave it at that.
Okay, excellent.
And then actually to get back to your question about like who will have final say and all that, this is straight from the bylaws. The election commission will have final say over debate format, including time, location, length of speaking time, length of rebuttal time, the number of questions the moderator will ask, in which I will assign the neutral chair. That is the moderator pretty much. Debate questions and issues, the election commission chair and the moderator will determine the preset questions to be asked at the debate. All debate questions and or issues will be kept confidential until posted at the debate.
Previously, I think in the last debates, the last election commission, implemented like they collected some like
Like a town hall, like
yeah,
a town hall.
constituencies. We tend to do this.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All my-
What's there? Wait again.
So I'm a little confused about the kickoff. So we can't talk about the candidacy before the kickoff, right?
You cannot talk about a single thing, even if you're running as a legislator, like you're a legislator now, you're running as a legislator, you can't talk about it. Well, there is a Google form that I will post, and then you will, without telling anybody, you will like go onto that Google form, fill out that information, and then I will reach out to you without letting anybody else know with more information about how we're gonna, what the next steps are. But you're not gonna let anybody know that you filled out that Google form. Yeah, see, that's completely up to you guys. That has nothing to do with me. If you want to create a slate, you gotta create that on your own, but it has to be, you have to do it before platform submission.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you make this slate for a kickoff,
yeah,
but that would, when you get to the candidacy?
no, because the only people who will know, like, I mean, of course, if you are creating a slate, then you are talking to people you want to run with. That has to be outside the office. You're allowed, like I said, to talk. If you want to create a slate, you just can't be over here speculating, well, I think Chairperson Marcos is gonna build a slate with, you know, somebody else in this office. That's not allowed. Yeah, see, that's not allowed. But if you're, you know, getting together outside the office and like, hey, I'm thinking about running, do you want to run, be in my slate? Or, you know, I'm thinking about doing this. Do you want to, as long as you guys keep that confidential and you're only talking to you and you're only talking to me through the forum questions towards me, then that's completely fine. It just can't be in the office and you can't let anybody else know. And then kickoff is when we will announce all of that. And then of course, anyone can talk about elections as long as it's not in the office. That makes sense? Thank you so much.
Legislator Christian Darrow.
Sorry, expanding on his questions. What type of candidacy are you declaring in the initial declaration of candidacy? Because like, okay, say hypothetically, like, I wanted to run with legislator Childs. with him as president and me as VP in this scenario. Like, what would that look like?
So when
It's completely hypothetical.
when you go to the forum, which is already done, and I will have, so I'm gonna have to look at it again. But I'm pretty sure it has a portion where it's like, are you running by yourself? Are you running with slate? All right, then it's like, that information, if it changes, it changes, as long as everything by platform submission is completed and set in stone. So if someone drops out, I know there's been dropouts in the past, things change, I understand that. If President Garcia wants to add really quickly, on that topic.
No, finish your thought.
That's pretty much what I was gonna say. It's like things change, but by kickoff, everything is like set in marble, like it's not moving. I think it's platform submission is set in stone. So, yeah. A lot of this will be discussed in orientation in a lot more detail. Like I said, it's a long, it's not necessarily a long time away, but it's like a month away. So we have time.
So just to clarify, you can't campaign until kickoff. Like kickoff is the day that like all of the slates, all the legislators who are running, like that's all announced. You can campaign in the office even after kickoff, but you can campaign outside of the office. And then declaring candidacy, that's like you can't declaring candidacy, all that means is saying I'm like declaring that you're gonna run.
It's just like an intro. So lets me know that I get in contact with you.
And you can't declare that you're running until kickoff day. So kickoff is when you get to declare that you're running and you get to start campaigning. And then platform is gonna be just like right before kickoff. That's just gonna be the list of the initiatives and things that your slate or yourself are working on. And things like the platform, and like your name and everything like that is not gonna be announced until kickoff.
This is why orientation is so important too, just to add on to that point, because I do have examples of what slates look like, what their like platform submission look like, what your guys can look like, and what will be like put out on kickoff and how important that event is. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this will be discussed again in orientation. This was just to let everybody else know in this room right now that it is happening. What is happening? Legislator Waters?
Thank you, and please forgive me if this has been answered already.
You're fine.
So for slates.
Yep.
We can't talk about them in the office. Or period.
Period.
Okay. So how, and please, once again, forgive me if this has already been answered, because I feel like it may have been. How would one go about forming a slate?
So, like I said, I've never formed a slate, but what I know is that you would be outside the office with other people, and you would not be in any way talking about anybody else except yourselves, and simply coming together and being like, I would like to form a slate with you. Are you interested in running with me? But again, don't do that using any of USC time. So you don't do it after GBM or anything like that. Don't do it. You know, this is something that you are running on your behalf. The OUSC is not running for you. So, like I said, this would be completely out of OUSC, completely out of office, completely out of time. And it's just you coming together with other members and deciding, let's run together, and then go from there.
Just to double check, this has to be in before March 9th at basically midnight.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you. That I get the point.
Well, you have to declare candidacy before March 2nd.
Yeah.
Platform is.
Yeah, if you're gonna change anything though, like let's say someone comes out of your plate, as long as you figure that out by then.
No, well, no, that would be, no, yeah, candidacy, that has to be by March 2nd. You can't edit stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you can drop out, but you can't like edit your slate. You know what I'm saying? Like you can drop out completely, but you can't like, let me add a member or take out a member. You know what I'm saying?
Let's say I'm reasonably sure, I was thinking like, oh, it seems like, I feel like Legislator Pershing-Darrow and Legislator Childs probably would intend to run for VP and president.
Yeah.
Could I go to them and be like, you know, like our secret meeting, outside focus.
Well, don't make it like that. This really happened.
But if I was like, if you guys intend on running for president and VP, I'd love to be your speaker. Could they be like, oh, we do intend to do so, but like, we don't want you, or they have to be like weird and be like,
That's a good question. So we're getting hypotheticals.
Well,
Well,
crazy.
crazy.
Could I like kind of ask people, like, if I wanted to potentially offer myself to do their plate, if I was reasonably sure they were gonna do that, or?
Yeah, I mean, again, as long as it's not talked about in the office, it's not talked about on OUSC time, and if they say, no, we don't want you running with us, no, thank you, be respectful of that, and
Don't talk.
oh, that's perfect, yeah, no, that's amazing. If I hear any kind of negatives, I'm putting it out.
You also, you all,
Any other questions for Director Richardson this time before we?
another clarification is that you can't declare your candidacy like even if you're outside of the office, if it's before kickoff, like you can't go to your Discord chat and be like, hey guys, guess what, I'm running. Like you can't do that either. Like you gotta wait till kickoff to declare your candidacy anywhere, just to be clear.
Do you have, okay,
Tell your mom.
you have to let me know by Sunday, March 2nd, 11:59, the form that I send out. If it is not, you cannot partake in orientation, you can take in platform submission. If I kick off, if you come to me and be like, actually, I've changed my mind and I wanna run, you're not going to. You're not going to. You're done. Simple as that. These are set in stone dates. I decide the dates. These are flexible because we don't have times yet, but the dates are pretty set in stone. If you wanna do this, if you wanna run, if you wanna be in a debate for vice president or president, you gotta take the time off. So if you're thinking about it now, take time off of work, because I don't know what time it's gonna be yet, I gotta talk with everyone first. But I'm not moving dates just because, oh, no, I got work that day, then maybe you aren't serious about this. So I wanna make that clear too, that no one is gonna push me around about dates or times. Thank you. Legislator. And of course, everyone will be.
What happens if you lose the election? Still in the city? Or-
So that I haven't actually discussed yet.
No, you're not, if you lose, you're not in student.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it as in like, yeah, I guess if you run as, let's say, I was thinking about it like this. If you run as like president or vice president and your slate like loses, but you still want to be legislator, well then you have to go through the approval process that you just went through. But yeah, you wouldn't be a legislator. You can't just like fall back on that.
Or
No, no. Yeah, everyone in this room has to run if they want to stay in student numbers. So I hope you're ready for elections, because I need you to sprint down to the end of those. Agreed.
Any last minute questions before we move on?
Like I said, if anyone's available, I know this meeting is dragging on. If anyone is available after the meeting to help me post it, please do. And then I have one more thing to mention, actually. We're planning an end of the year party. We can't decide a date, so would you guys rather have it after the last GBM, which would be the GBM day, March 14th, when the new administration comes in? That would be like at least 7, 8 o'clock. Or would you guys rather have it the next day on tax day? Okay, so that's gonna be, so are we thinking April 14th and after GBM? Are we thinking April 15th? And I think me and Marcus talked about 3 to 6. So raise your hand if you're inclined to do Monday, March 14th, I mean, April 14th, sorry. Okay? And who here is inclined to do the next date, tax day, April 15th? Okay, I have my answers. Thank you. Is that it? Any questions? Okay, I yield the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Director Richardson. Next up on the agenda, we have legislative updates. First up, we have Speaker of the Legislature, Speaker Johnson had to leave early. So we will go ahead and move straight into liaison reports. Is there any liaison that is present today that would like to provide their report? All right, seeing none. Is there any updates related to legislative projects and initiatives at this time?
Okay, so I was in communication with the head of the Oakland Center, kind of just planning to extend the hours here for finals week. Kind of gave him a couple of different areas why we're testing. I know that's something that a lot of students expressed that they wanted a space to be able to study for longer hours. I know the library is open 24/7 previously, so that's just something that I'm working on, waiting to hear back on, so. Yeah, thank you.
Any other updates related to legislative projects and initiatives at this time?
All right, seeing none, is there any questions related to legislative reports at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to e-board reports. E-board reports, first up, we have President Garcia. Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna cover everything. I'm just gonna cover the things that I highlighted. So first, I've been planning the Student Governance Conference. The only thing I want to mention with that is it's on March 22nd. We're only having 10 members per, 10 members per university. So there's like 14 universities that we're inviting. Probably only like 10 universities are gonna go. Just estimates from last year. So if you wanna go, you really do have to let me know. I think we only have like 3 other people that like 3 other spots for OU. So if you would like to go, please let me know. And if you haven't let me know yet. Next, I chaired Campus Food Committee. That's gonna happen again this week. It was really, really successful. I think it happened 2 weeks ago. There was a lot of really great points and we talked the entire hour, so it was really great. So thank you all for participating in that. And please come around again this week. Next we had, so I had a meeting with the OCC student government because they were wondering about any way that we can collaborate. One thing that we're gonna do is just like a volunteering service type of thing. So we're probably gonna go somewhere in Pontiac. There was a couple of places that we were looking at to volunteer. But I'll have more like concrete details about that later, so all of you can attend if you're available. Just if you want to get to know like the student government from OCC, they're like super close by in Auburn Hills, so it's like really cool that we get to connect with them. But also we were looking into like some type of like fun event to kind of like get to know them. So something that like we were brainstorming is some type of like movie night or like trivia, something like games, something like that. Like just to like talk to them, connect with them, maybe get some brainstorming with regards to like initiatives. If you have any ideas of like things that we can do, movies we can show, or like games or activities that we can do with them, please let me know. I'm also trying to decide of whether or not we just want to restrict it to just like our student government members or like our student bodies as a whole. So if you have an input on that, please let me know after this meeting. And then also the last thing that I wanted to touch on was a Princeton Review collaboration. So basically I was looking at, can someone please let me know if I already talked about this last meeting? I feel like I did, but I feel like I also didn't. I don't know. So please shut me up if I already talked about this. But basically, I was looking at MSU and like the initiatives that they worked on in their student government just to get some ideas. And I noticed that they had like a collaboration with the Princeton Review to get like discounted like testing materials for their students. And so I contacted them to see like what that would look like for OU, and it's completely zero cost for us. But it would just basically like be able to like give discounted testing materials for like OU students, but also there's also like courses that you can take as well within Princeton Review, like on their website, things for like the MCAT, LSAT, a couple other things that they mentioned, but I can't remember now. But if anyone is like super like involved with like academic like student orgs, like I know that there's a lot of like pre-med organizations, a lot of like pre-law organizations. If anyone's like involved in those type of clubs, please let me know so that we can like, branch out, because I know that like, we can definitely, like collaborate with things like this, so more students can be aware of how to get, more affordable testing materials, so, yeah. If you have any other questions about any of the things that I just talked about, or any of the things that I have on that list, please let me know, but I want to keep it short, so that's all I'm going to talk about today.
Okay. I will also keep mine briefer than I had typed out. With course markings, we're making a lot of progress there, starting to look more specifically at OU and how we can help further course markings and keeping course materials affordable. So I'm going to be meeting with Provost Corcoran in February and, continuing my work with Julia, in addition to a couple other places that can be supportive of us expanding course markings and course material affordability. The vending machine is literally, we're just wrapping up the final details. Tuba has been absolutely wonderful in getting everything done in a timely manner. So keep an eye out for anything I send out. I know once we have everything in office, we'll probably need some help with packaging products and putting stuff together so that it's ready to be stocked in the vending machine. So I will keep you guys updated as we move forward, but we are inching closer and closer, and it truly will be any day now. And then in terms of Mindful Mondays, thank you to everybody who has been attentive and helpful with Mindful Mondays. As some of you may know, we've had, a tougher time this year being able to get speakers, because we no longer really have like an in-student Congress athletic connection. But I have made contact with the president and vice president of SAC, in addition to another contact from the rec, and I'm going to be working very closely with them to ensure that Mindful Mondays can be as successful as possible. And not only that, but hopefully boost engagement and get more of the student body to be aware of the fact that this is something that we put on. So with that, I will yield. All right. Next up, we have updates from our advisors.
Sorry, I'm late. We just finished training. I just want to let you know, MLK Day of Service was scheduled for last Wednesday, and obviously because of the weather, we didn't have it. But it is being rescheduled February 12th, combining it with Day of Kindness, on Great Big Huge Day of Service, and it's also going to be combined with a volunteer fair as well. So again, it'll be February 12th, 9 to 9, in the Habitat this time. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Advisor Miller. Is there any updates related to eBoard projects and initiatives at this time? All right, seeing none. Any questions related to executive reports at this time? Also seeing none. We don't currently have a gallery. Any announcements anyone would like to make for the good of the group? President Garcia.
We have an event right now, and also there's a whole week of event. Please sign up to work them. That's all.
One more thing I forgot to mention in terms of election, if there are any questions, please email me. I'm okay with word of mouth, but I'm also not. I want to make sure that everything is on paper or online so we can see it. And if someone is like, well, Taylor didn't tell me that. Yes, I did. So please email me questions or message me on Slack so I have receipts. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, any other announcements?
Legislator, get my receipts.
Okay, so basically the American Marketing Association is hosting like a networking and resume building event on February 10th. We're gonna be having Chick-fil-A's. So if you're interested in that, please stop by. We're gonna be in the Stinson Room, Elliott Hall, from 12 to 1 p.m. February 10th. The mark's down on your calendars. It would be nice to see some student Congress legislators over at student organizations. We need to foster engagement, guys.
Do you have other topics discussed in the last legislature meeting? Yes, thank you. All right. Any other announcements at this time? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and adjourn at 6:51. Thank you, everyone. Cafe. Essentially, what?